Hi, everybody. Doug Jenkins with the Findlay-Hancock County Chamber of Commerce with you once again here on our YouTube channel. We've been using the YouTube channel to talk about the different resources and really advice and tips available to area businesses and the community as a whole as we get through COVID-19. Joined by Lori Mesta with USX Federal Credit Union. And this has actually been in the works for a while, well before COVID-19 was really even something we were worried about, Lori. So appreciate you sort of changing on the fly, but we're still kind of sticking with the thing we wanted to begin with.
No worries, and I love being here to help.
So what we had talked about several months ago was talking about credit repair. And we'll get into why that's something that you should be concerned about as we're on the the quarantine right now for COVID-19. But we see a lot of things pop up on the internet: repair your credit, boost your credit score, that type of thing. It always sounds a little dubious, but there is actually a course of action you can take to do some credit repair. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, Lori, what are some common maybe misconceptions that people have about credit repair, and what are the things that are legitimate ways they can go about it?
Okay, there are a handful of things that affect your credit and your credit score. Payment history makes up about 35% of that. The amount you owe on debt is about 30%. Length of your history, the maturity of your credit makes up about 15%. And then we have 10%, which is opening up new credit, and 10%, which is a credit mix, which means credit cards. It could be a home loan, auto loan, different trade lines. So one thing that will affect your score negatively is, an example, if you have a credit card, you have a $10,000 credit limit. If you have that up over 30%, that's going to impact your score. So you always want to try to keep your credit limits down to about 30% below of any revolving credit. You always want to make timely payments. You don't ever want to make a late payment. That will definitely impact your score. If you can set up on online payments, just in case you need a reminder, that's always helpful. So your payments are always being made in a timely manner. Making more than what your actual payment is, that will also help boost your credit. A couple other things that will impact your score is you don't want to have a lot of inquiries and open up a lot of new debt. When you have a lot of inquiries, it could be anywhere from 1 to 5 points that will have an impact that will take away from that score. And a lot of people, when they're coming in to do a home loan or they're going to do a mortgage, we always educate them on, okay, once we pull your credit, don't open up any more trade lines, don't open up a credit card. If you're in a retail store, a lot of times they'll say, hey, do you want to apply for this credit card and we can give you 15% discount? That 5 points, that 5 points can literally make or break a deal. So, you always want to try to keep the inquiries on the lower end because it will impact your score.
Now I feel bad for signing people up for that American Eagle Clear Card back
Yeah,
in
don't you?
college. I didn't know I was impacting their ability on home loans and things like that.
Yeah, you can, depending on where their score is. But it will have an impact on the interest rate, or even if somebody is right where they need to be, like say they need a 620. If they're at like 623 and they go and they apply for something, or somebody does an inquiry, that's going to drop that score down, and it may impact them getting that home loan.
So a couple of reasons why we're talking about credit scores when we initially talked about it, one thing that we had talked about, Lori, was people, if we have a community with higher credit scores altogether, and they're going to have a little bit more capital to work with, and that's going to be great for local businesses. The other thing, now that we're in this COVID-19 reality, is I think people are going to want to protect those credit scores. They're going to want to pay down debt and just have that peace of mind. So let's get into a couple of those aspects. Let's say I've got a fair to middling credit score right now. What are some ways that I can start bringing that up right now?
Well, as long as you're still working and you're bringing in the income that you normally bring in, you are able to start paying some of that credit card down, that credit debt down. You want to just put as much extra on your loans and on your credit cards as you can, and that will help increase your scores.
And as far as paying down debt, obviously, I guess with that saying that you want to budget money to do that. But if
Right.
you're concerned about layoffs right now, or your
Okay.
hours have been reduced because coronavirus, are you finding that creditors are willing to work with people?
Um, they are. I know that with the credit union, we have to make sure we are still lending 100%. We're doing auto loans, we're doing home equity loans, personal loans, but you do have to be working. And you do have to prove income. I can't vouch for any other companies, unfortunately, because I don't know what their conditions are. But with us, you do have to be working. Um, but if you have a reduction in your income, you can still try and you can inquire because you may still fit under the guidelines. It depends on what the debt to income ratio is at the time that we're going to be borrowing.
Gotcha. What are red flags to look out for when you are approached about credit repair? Because, like I said, you can get those emails, and
Mhm.
there's the people that, oh, we've got a program, surefire way to do it. And again, I'm always dubious when I see something like that. I'm sure that you see some things that worry you as well.
Right. We actually do free credit score analysis for all of our members. Um, but you do want to watch out for the folks that are, they're trying to get your social security number and your financial information and your address. You want to do research. You want to, contact, like, you want to make sure that they are a true business, that it's not just a scam. People will try to do anything that they can, but I recommend always going to your financial institution, whoever you're banking with, and ask their advice. See if they have somebody that they can refer you to.
And I think that's a great point right there. And maybe the one we'll leave off with is that I know that I've talked with several bankers, people from credit unions in town, where they do have programs in place where not only do they have programs, but they're willing to do some coaching with you too to try and get you
Right.
to a better financial footing.
And we do that as well. Um, we will sit with any one of our members and we will sit down and we will show them the path. We will go over their full credit report with them and show them all the steps that they need to take to be able to improve their credit and to, boost it up, add some points to it. If they're a little bit lower than where they need to be and they need that availability to be able to go out and get a loan, we'll show them all the steps that they need to take so we can help them to be able to borrow money.
All right. Well, Lori, we appreciate you joining us. Some great tips and, of course, things to keep in mind, not only what we're dealing with COVID-19, but when things get back to whatever normal looks like after this. Certainly, these are numbers and things that people are going to want to take care of.
Absolutely.
All right. And we're going to continue to provide resources on our YouTube page. And again, not just during the COVID-19, we've been working on putting together a repository of information on our YouTube page before this all happened. And Lori, again, was supposed to be the guinea pig for the whole project. But we got started a little bit early with everything that's going on. So if Lori, one last thing, if people want
Yeah.
to ask you any more questions about what this process could look like for them, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
They can reach out to us. We have an 888 number. It's 888-219-3159. We also have a website and it's usxfcu.org. One thing that, if you don't mind me saying, with one of your questions is how to
Yeah.
people to make sure that they're taking care of their credit. If they have lost their job, if their hours have been reduced, please call your financial institution. There are so many programs, from utility companies to insurance companies, your cell phone carriers. We're deferring our members' payments for 90 days. And they don't have to come up with, at the conclusion of the deferment, they're not having to come up with that one lump sum payment. They have the option of making interest only payments. But if they're in a financial situation where they don't have the normal income coming in, they really need to contact their creditors and see what kind of programs, but just be careful and make sure that they're explaining the terms. And at the end of this period, they don't have to come up with that one lump sum payment.
I think that is an excellent piece of advice there, and definitely you don't know what's available to you until you at
Right.
least reach out. So, but you have to take that first step and make the
You
call.
do.
So, And that can be tough to do, but if you do it, I think you're going to find yourself on better footing. So again, Lori,
Absolutely.
thanks for joining us. And I'm Doug Jenkins,
Thank you.
Findlay Hancock County Chamber of Commerce.